order. Call the Standing Committee on Public Accounts meeting to order. My name is Kelly Regan. I'm the MLA for Bedford Basin and chair of the committee. A reminder to all of us to place our phones on silent. And I'll ask my colleagues to introduce themselves, beginning with MLA Young.
Good morning, everybody. Nolan Young, MLA for Shelburne.
MLA Taggart.
Good morning. Tom Taggart, MLA Colchester North.
MLA McDonald.
Good morning, Johnny McDonald, MLA for Hants East.
MLA Palmer.
Good morning, Chris Palmer, MLA for Kings West. Happy to be sitting in for my colleague, MLA Sheehy Richard.
MLA LeBlanc.
Good morning, Susan LeBlanc, MLA for Dartmouth North.
MLA Lachance.
Lisa Lachance, MLA for Halifax, Little Sable Island.
MLA McGuire.
Good morning, everyone. Happy holidays. Brendan McGuire, Halifax Atlantic.
And last but definitely not least, MLA Harrison.
Good morning, Larry Harrison, MLA for Colchester Musquodoboit Valley, filling in for my colleague Danielle Burkhouse.
Thank you, and I will note that officials from the Auditor General's Office, Legislative Council Office, and Legislative Committee's Office are in attendance as well today. We will be dealing with committee business at today's meeting. There will be no witnesses. So we have correspondence here from the first piece we can deal with is Department of Advanced Education. Information requested from November 22nd meeting. Does any, yes, MLA Young?
Madam Chair, can I make a motion?
Is it about the correspondence?
Well, it's a motion. It could be about whatever. I mean, I have the floor here.
We're dealing with the correspondence right now. So, Emily, I'll be happy to put you on the list. I already have two people ahead of you. So, do you have anything to add to this? We have a letter here from the Deputy Minister of Advanced Education, Ryan Grant. Any discussion on that? All right, thank you. We will ensure that is added to the web page. Then we will go on to the Department of Municipal Affairs and Housing information requested from the November 22nd meeting. Is there any discussion on that? Okay, and so we will accept that. Okay. Executive Panel on Housing and HRM, Investment in Affordable Housing, November 29th response. I'll open the floor for discussion on this particular matter. Anything on that? I will say that I'm not sure that item number 2 provide our committee with a detailed analysis of the value for money that Nova Scotia is getting on these affordable housing investments was provided here. We do have a 2-paragraph I guess maybe 3-paragraph explanation, but I'm not sure that's a detailed analysis, but it's up to the committee whether they feel that what was given there, it's dated November 19th, 2023. Do they feel that was detailed enough? Mm-hmm. We okay? All right. And finally, Department of Municipal Affairs and Housing, response to thank you letter from the committee as well as additional requested information. Are folks satisfied with the letter they received back? Yep. Okay. All right. Now we will move on to the record of decision, December 20th subcommittee. Members have been provided with the record of decision from the December 13th subcommittee meeting. I opened the floor for discussion, and I've actually had reach out about that someone has a motion. So, Mr. McGuire.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I have two motions. First one being my first motion is to move that the first topic be health infrastructure projects with the following witnesses: Public Works Deputy Minister, Build Nova Scotia Executive Director, Health and Wellness Deputy Minister, and Service Nova Scotia Deputy Minister and Chief Procurement Officer. Did you want me to read my second motion, or just want me to?
I think we'll do one motion at a time,
thank you.
okay? So we'll deal with that motion. Is there any discussion?
What was the motion, sorry?
Sorry, I move that the first topic be the health infrastructure projects with the following witness: Public Works, Build Nova Scotia, Health and Wellness, and Service Nova Scotia.
Do you want to actually just read what is written on what we passed there, the status
Yeah.
update, just so everybody is clear on what we're talking about?
Okay, so
Thank you.
I move that the first topic be health infrastructure project with the following witnesses: Public Works Deputy Minister, Build Nova Scotia Health Infrastructure Executive Director, Health and Wellness Deputy Minister, and Service Nova Scotia Deputy Minister and Chief Procurement Officer.
So you just read the same thing you did before. I asked you to read status update on, I want to make sure that we get everything in that, so that everybody, we don't have any argument afterwards about what was meant or anything like that. So on the chart, it says health infrastructure projects.
Sorry, okay. So a status update on infrastructure project progress, spending and timeline, including the QE2 redevelopment, construction of transitional care facilities, CBRM healthcare redevelopment and project, etc.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So, MLA LeBlanc.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want one clarification and one comment. When we say the first topic, is the member's intention that this is just the first topic we're passing today, or does it mean that it is like that the next time we schedule, this would be the first one in the line? I want that clarification. And my second thing is we did discuss at some point striking construction of transitional care facilities from this topic because we have an Auditor General's report on that. And so if we take that out, it might make the health infrastructure projects topic a little more robust so that we can concentrate on transitional care facilities separately.
So MLA McGuire, I think there was a question to you.
It's just, it'll be up to the committee clerk and to decide when the witnesses can appear and the order. I just used it as my first motion, sorry.
I see.
Okay, MLA Young?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, not even 30 seconds before we started this meeting, we talked about when we broke up the topics that potentially would have been one topic with health infrastructure projects and government procurement practices. We just discussed that Service Nova Scotia was actually there twice in error. So
It's not error.
I'd like to make an amendment to the motion, please.
Certainly, I will just clarify for the member that I don't believe it was there in error. We did discuss this. However, the Deputy Minister for Service Nova Scotia is also the Deputy Minister responsible for Build Nova Scotia, and that's why they're here in this topic. So by all means, if you wish to make an amendment, please do.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Respectfully, I mean, that'd be redundant if we're calling the same witness twice. I mean, we want the representatives who can best answer this topic, but I'd like to make an amendment to MLA McGuire's motion. And it's, I move that the record of decision from December 13th outside of the motion passed on October 4th, and as well strike Service Nova Scotia from the topic we just discussed, be accepted by the committee.
So I will just say that referring back to October 4th, where we don't have that here, it makes it...
Not including that, just what we agreed upon in subcommittee, right?
So, and what we agreed upon in subcommittee was Service Nova Scotia being there. And I will just point out respectfully that, in fact, they are two different topics. One is government procurement process and practice, government compliance to legislation policy. It's a large topic, guidelines for procurement, et cetera. That's a large topic. This deals with health infrastructure projects and is a smaller topic. Nonetheless, Service Nova Scotia does have an important role to play in that particular project, the health infrastructure projects. So with respect, I'm saying that because I do believe it was there for a reason upon reflection. MLA McGuire?
So just a little bit of clarification. So that, excuse me, jeez, clearing my throat. We're saying that witnesses will be Public Works Deputy Minister, Build Nova Scotia Health Infrastructure Executive Director, and Health and Wellness Deputy Minister. Is that what we're saying? And we're just striking Service Nova Scotia Deputy Minister and Chief Procurement Officer from the list, but the witnesses stay the same aside from Service Nova Scotia. Is that what the member is stating?
MLA Young?
Yeah, thank you. I think, what my amendment was just what we talked about before the meeting. We have a representative from Build Nova Scotia for health infrastructure, and I know we had Service Nova Scotia there twice on 2 topics. It's whoever the representative is, I think it's just there in error. But my amendment was to accept what came from the record of decision, but not MLA McGuire's motion on the 4th. So the record of decision.
On the record,
the witnesses would be health infrastructure projects you're talking? Yeah. Public Works Deputy Minister, Build Nova Scotia Health Infrastructure Executive Director, and Health and Wellness Deputy Minister.
So I want to be sure that we all understand what we're voting on, because the mention of October 4th, which wasn't in anything that was moved, I know, but it wasn't in anything that was in the original motion. So I don't know, are you trying to move the entire list?
Yeah.
That's not an amendment then. That's not an amendment then? So.
it's a motion.
It's a motion, so. Yeah, so MLA McGuire, language. So that's not an amendment. MLA LeBlanc?
No, if you're calling that out of order, then that's fine.
Yeah. All right. So we have a motion on the floor for MLA Young.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Okay, so I'll make an amendment to for the health infrastructure project status update on infrastructure project progress, spending and timeline, including QE2, redevelopment construction of transitional care facilities here, BRM healthcare redevelopment project, etc., with witnesses being Public Works, Build Nova Scotia, and Public Works Deputy Minister, Build Nova Scotia Health Infrastructure Executive Director, and Health and Wellness Deputy Minister. So I would have removed Service Nova Scotia.
Any comment? Any discussion? So we'll now vote on the amendment. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Nay. The motion is carried. So we have removed Service Nova Scotia from the amendment. So now we are going to vote on the amended motion, which would be that we call Health Infrastructure Projects, status update on infrastructure projects progress, spending and timeline, including QE2 redevelopment, construction of transitional care facilities, CBRM healthcare redevelopment project, etc. The witnesses would be Public Works Deputy Minister, Build Nova Scotia Health Infrastructure Executive Director, Health and Wellness Deputy Minister.
Question.
All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. The motion is carried. So we have a topic. It's a Christmas miracle. MLA McGuire, your motion?
Yeah, so I move the second topic be government procurement process, and I will read the whole thing with government compliance to legislation, policy, and guidelines for procurement for capital project goods and services, and the witnesses being Service Nova Scotia Deputy Minister and Chief Procurement Officer, Public Works Deputy Minister, and Build Nova Scotia Executive Director.
Any discussion?
Sorry, I missed that one.
If you look on your chart, it's the last one that's on the chart, okay?
And the witnesses are Service Nova Scotia Deputy Minister, Chief Procurement Officer, and Public Works Deputy Nova Scotia.
Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. Excellent, yes, and Ms. LeBlanc, I did have you before Mr. Young. You were the second person, so go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to make a motion that we separate on the third topic, we have food insecurity and school food initiatives, and I'd like to make a motion that we break those into two. So in one case, we would have food insecurity, a focus on food insecurity among income assistance recipients, funding of food banks, nutrition, and food access. Food access funding, and the witnesses would be the Deputy Minister of Community Services, the Deputy Minister of Agriculture, and then the second topic would be school food initiatives, a review of school food programs, recent pilot programs, breakfast and lunch programs, food security across province, and the witnesses would be the Deputy Minister of Education and Early Childhood Development, and the Deputy Minister of Agriculture.
Any discussion?
Well, yes, sorry. Can I just
sorry,
speak?
yes,
I'll just speak
please
to my
do.
motion really quickly.
Sure.
Madam Chair, it is clear that while they are connected, food insecurity and school food initiatives, that they are not the same topic. And I would say that food insecurity in Nova Scotia is a broad enough topic that we could have more than a 2-hour meeting on it. As well, school food initiatives, same thing. We could have a much longer meeting than 2 hours. And so to put them together suggests that they are one and the same, and they are very different, and they affect very different populations of the province. And so that is why I have made a motion to divide those topics and so that we can look at them separately.
Any further discussion? So the motion is to separate what is the third topic on the list that's been distributed into two topics. One would be food insecurity, and the witnesses focus on food insecurity among income assistance recipients, funding of food banks, nutrition, and food access funding. And the witnesses would be the Deputy Minister of Community Services and the Deputy Minister of Agriculture. And then the second topic would be review of school food programs, recent pilot programs, breakfast and lunch programs, food security across the province. And that would be, the witnesses would be Education and Early Childhood Development, the Deputy Minister. It says here on our list, DM to consider RCE representation. The member didn't mention that, so I'm assuming that's not part of the motion. And then Agriculture, the Deputy Minister of Agriculture. So, Ms. LeBlanc.
Well, I didn't mention it because, as we have said before, that the deputies can bring whoever they want as their support people. And so if the deputy wants to bring people from the regional centers, then that's great.
Okay. All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay?
Nay.
The motion is defeated. Okay, so, sorry, I'm looking down there and didn't see you, Ms. MLA Young. MLA Young.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I move to accept the rest of the items on the record of decision from the subcommittee on December 13th. I guess that's that.
So, MLA LeBlanc, yes?
No, Madam Chair, I'm sorry. I really feel like this is it's not in good faith, this type of making an omnibus motion like this, because there are many things that we discussed in subcommittee that didn't make it to this record of decisions, and I would like to have an opportunity to point out the things that I wanted to. So given that this is now a motion, my comments on the motion are the following. Under the topic of progress update on actions to improve emergency care, I would like to make an amendment that we add the representative from the College of Paramedics. Under the topic of a review of social support programs, income assistant rent supplements, I would like to add an amendment that we add a witness being a representative from the College of the Nova Scotia Social Workers, whatever that's called, Nova Scotia College of Social Workers. These are in our discussions in the last little while. We have talked about the benefit of having someone from a professional college as an outside witness, quote-unquote outside witness. We have heard from the government loud and clear that they don't think that outside witnesses are particularly useful at public accounts, and as I have said before, this is not something that I need to argue until I die, but I do think it's important in certain cases to have outside witnesses to give their perspective, especially when it comes to dealing with government funding and the spending of government money, and so, or the impacts of the spending of government money, which is, so for instance, why I would think that someone from the College of Social Workers would be a very appropriate witness at that topic. So I really implore the committee to consider these mild amendments and make sure that when we're meeting as a committee with witnesses, that we are having the most robust and effective meetings as possible.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded, nay.
Nay.
The motion is defeated. Sorry, the amendment is defeated. Thank you very much. Okay, now we will move on. Do we have any further amendments to the main motion?
Just a quick point of clarity.
MLA Young?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. My motion was and I know we just discussed about the October 4th thing. My motion was excluding that. That's part of the record decision. It was just the topics. I'm just point of clarity. That's all. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I was going to move on to that one after we were done there, so, okay. With all those in favor of MLA Young's motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded, nay. The motion is carried. So now we have to deal with other items. MLA McGuire's October 4th motion passed, and the motion was that at some point we bring Communications Nova Scotia to this committee to discuss communications around healthcare, but also communication around government spending. The witnesses would be the Deputy Minister and anyone else they feel is relevant to the discussion. So that motion passed. October 4th was that in camera?
That would have been at subcommittee, but this was approved at subcommittee, so now.
Okay. All right. So do we have a motion regarding, sorry? Yeah. MLA Young?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, we had some really good fulsome discussion at subcommittee, and generally when topics come through, when we have new topics, we will put them through subcommittee. So just while I have the floor here, any topics that are outside of what was submitted and that just come through whatever avenue, I would recommend they come back through subcommittee. So with that, Madam Chair, I move that we adjourn.
So the October 4th motion was at.
A motion to adjourn.
You got to call the vote on the motion.
Okay, so I'll call the vote on the motion by MLA Young to adjourn. All those.
1 second here. Madam Chair.
Did we not
No, it's not debatable.
We have a motion, we have a...
Moved it.
It says that here that it passed.
No.
So he's right. No one moved the motion, and he's now moved to adjourn, and so we can't debate it because no one moved the motion. So.
Sorry,
It's not debatable.
it's not debatable. I didn't even know we did a motion to adjourn in this meeting.
I've never had it happen before either, I have to say, but there we go. So,
No other motion to be on the floor?
so
You little bug.
MLA Young has unparliamentary and motion.
You have to vote
Sorry,
on it. You have to vote.
we have to vote on this. I'm sorry, MLA Lachance.
No, it's not debatable.
Point of order.
Point of order.
Point of order over there first. She
Actually, I
did
think
a
it's
point of order first?
Actually, I think it's a point
Sorry.
of privilege, so thank you very much.
Yes.
I just really wanted to call attention to the language that's being used in this meeting, and that I think it's been off mic both times, but it's not appropriate. It's a homophobic slur, and it. Yes.
Yes.
And you of anybody should know that because it's most often used in the UK in that way. In North America, it's not, but like, I can give you a graphic description of what it means. No, I'm going to finish.
Just let her finish. She's making a point. Just let her let the member, sorry,
Thank you.
my apologies.
And I just,
let the member make
I
make their
recognize
decision.
that it was off mic, but it's happened twice. It's unacceptable. This is why we have a requirement to use parliamentary language when we meet together. We shouldn't be using slurs or nicknames or anything of any kind. Because it really, I mean, the root of a lot of our language traditions are inappropriate. So I suggest that we communicate more professionally when we're sitting in a legislative committee meeting.
Thank you, MLA Lachance, which is why I noted that people are to use parliamentary language when we're in this particular chair, and I'm sure that the member in question will take your interjection to heart. Thank you very much. We have a motion on the floor to adjourn. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Contrary-minded, nay. The motion is carried.
So now that we're done, I just want to clarify this. So at any point in